What's up, you guys? Today I'm going to be showing you how to make modern trance like Mischluft and Odymel. You can grab this full template that you just heard in the intro at the top of the description on my website. Thanks for the support, everybody, and let's get started. Alright, so we're going to be in the high 150s with BPM for this stuff. I think this stuff is anywhere from like 150 up to 160, right? The first thing we have here is our kick. Now, the way I made this kick is basically taking this like much harder kick. Right, like it's a pretty fat 909. I shortened it. You can hear there was a bit of like a longer tail on that. You can see it in the waveform there. So I got rid of that. And then I've also taken it, and then to make it even a little bit smoother, because really the kicks in these tracks are not the hardest. Like, they're very fat and full, but they're not like that just insane smack. So I've got this low pass filter here, and what we're doing is basically, here's without it. With it, you can hear it just makes the kick a lot tighter and more clicky, but it keeps the bass. So basically what we're doing is there's the filter it's down here, but I have an envelope on it, so it starts up high and then it just goes down. And there you go. You can make this kind of like really hard kick where it's really fat, but it's still like really smooth, like these kind of kicks you hear in these tracks. I've got it converted to mono just to make sure we don't get any weird stereo stuff. And then we got our bass line. Now, as far as the MIDI goes, what we're doing is we're in A minor. That's the key of this track. You can see it's just a simple, on the upbeats, just one note. You notice it's not a full eighth note, though. It's still a bit shorter and a bit tighter. So you kind of get a little bit, like a little bit of space between the kick and that. Right, and it makes it a bit punchier. As far as the notes go, it's, so A minor, we're doing root note, third, sixth, fifth. Right, it's like a simple poppy chord progression. Right, just 4 bars. That's how a lot of these tracks are. And then for the sound, what we've got is we basically got 3 layers. We have this main bass. We have this wavetable thing. And then we have a little bit of organ. So for the main bass, what we're doing, this is made with wavetable. I've got a square wave. So you're getting a very full waveform. And then we got a low pass on it with this kind of short, punchy envelope. And there you go. It makes a nice sub bass. Then for this one, so you can see what it is. It's just this brutal metal wavetable. I got a low pass filter on it. There's an envelope on the position and the filter frequency. And we're distorting it a little bit. Like, it's only at 12% down there, but you can just see. And yeah, this kind of adds that fatter, huge kind of layer like you hear in a lot of the Odymel tracks. And then on this one, I've got this auto pan. It might seem really subtle, but it's just kind of like a fake sidechain. And what it's doing is it's making sure that none of this goes into the kicks. Like, it's just a little bit cleaner when you turn that on, I noticed. Cool. Then for the organ layer, so you can hear what that adds. Basically, it's this M1 organ. I've gotten rid of all the low end since we already have that in the other one, but we're just getting this tone out of it. You can see I had to tune it a bit as well, like even with the detune there. And then I got that same auto pen. And again, it just takes the bass from this to this. Which you could really do either. You could use this bass or that one, but this organ layer, I just wanted to show you guys how to do it. I think it's important and pretty cool. Alright, now the next thing we got here are all of these little stabs. There's 4 of them basically. They're kind of made with like different things, but you can hear them all playing together. Right, so it's all these little sounds that just pop in and out that are very important. I think if you don't have these, the whole thing can be very kind of flat. And then you bring them in. Right, they really keep that track moving. So the first one here is this little vocal piece. I literally just took this one little phrase here.
In my head.
Right, and then we just have
In my.
that on the second time. I've got it going through a bit of distortion.
In my.
A bit of hybrid reverb, which is really short.
In my.
You can hear it just kind of puts it in a room. It's not really like
In my head.
really obvious in your face reverb. I got a high pass filter and then an auto pan sidechain. Then we have this little wavetable stab. So what's happening here is just playing A, right? Just the root note. We've got this one wavetable. The way you basically make these kind of cool stabs is you use wavetable synthesis and you just don't move the wavetable. You just find a cool spot, and that's how you make this kind of a stab. So yeah, they use these kinds of things a bit in these tracks. I think with these, you just need a little delay. And the ping pong really sounds nice too. A bit of auto pan. So it has some rhythm and it fits in. And then make sure you cut out the low end so it doesn't clash with the bass. And you notice also that I only have this playing when the bass is playing the same note. Right, like if I was going to put it over here, I would match the same note as the bass. Then we got this little transition lead. So we're in A minor. I'm using actually the 5th, the root, and then the 9th. I kind of like having it like not perfectly resolved. Right, like that. So it's just a really simple melody. I've just got a saw wave here, a bit of vibrato on that, some reverb, auto pan, and then high pass. Then we got this little thing. So it's a piece of this much longer sample if I turn all this stuff off. Right? And then what I've done here is I've actually got this utility being moved by the shaper. So you can see that the shaper is doing this on the gain. It's basically like that. And then what I'm doing is I have an LFO here moving the rate of that to go from 16th to 8th notes on this half note square. You'll see more of that in a moment with the next layer. Then we have this lead. So this one's using that same kind of concept. Basically, if we just go straight out of the synth, this is what it's playing. Right, so if we're in A minor, this is 5th, 4th, 3rd, 9th, 5th, 7th, 3rd, 9th. So it's a simple call and response melody, right? It's just this analog patch, one saw wave, a ton of unison, a little bit of vibrato, but the unison you really hear. I've even brought the voices up to 4. It's at 2 by default. And then we bring in this. This is that same little thing I showed you with the shaper. Right, and then it's kind of giving a new rhythm to this lead. So this is how you can make these kind of leads. I've heard these a lot, especially in Mischluft's tracks, where I think it's basically just a long held out melody, and then you have the volume shaping happening. Then you can hear we got a little bit of reverb and delay after it. It sounds cool, especially with the delay being filtered. A bit of a high pass filter, and then we just have our auto pan sidechain. Then we've just got this little screechy. So coming straight out of the synth on this one, first of all, we're just playing A. Right, it's just, that's what it sounds like with no effects. It's just doing that, and then we're playing with the note lengths. What we're doing here is we've got 2 pretty detuned saw waves. They've got a lot of unison, and then one has this little pitch envelope going into it. So that's what creates the screech. And see it kind of starting at different pitches like that and having it be like the detune is moving. Then we got a bit of overdrive. Very important for this kind of sound. Some reverb. High pass. And then an auto pan to make it sound a bit sidechain to the kick. Then we got the rest of our drums. You hear we got this clap, just a really short, punchy clap. And same thing with this open hi-hat. You can see I made this one really short with the MIDI notes. So I think that's very important with this. It's like, you know, you want a short kick, a short bass, short clap, short hi-hat. it all is working together to create that groove. We've also got some background hi-hats. Right, basically this one just going steady. And then we got that one. And then I have a little rave loop as well. You can just hear that motion that at the start is really nice. You really don't want to overdo it with these. I think with these kind of tracks, they really don't have as much as you would think. But just like one like that can add a nice little bit of movement to the drums. So that's gonna be it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to like this video as well as subscribe. Let me know what you think of this video in the comments. And like I said in the beginning, you can grab this full template at the top of the description on my website. Make sure to grab that. It helps support me so I can keep bringing you guys new videos every single day. Thanks for the support, everybody, and I'll see you tomorrow with another one.